The Danish pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk, which at times was the largest company in Europe, continues to decline and recently suffered a dramatic 23% drop in a single day. So now the question stands, is this the end for the company, or is this the perfect moment to grab an incredible bargain? More on that in this video. Hello and welcome to another video here at Bloomberg Capital. My name is Henrik, and today we're taking a look at Novo Nordisk, which is a Danish pharmaceutical company and one of the leading producers of insulin. But it became especially well known for their weight loss drugs like Ozempic and now Wegovy. So what exactly happened? On July 29th, the company actually lowered its annual forecast for the second time. And investors did not take that all too well, leading to a massive sell-off. Revenue growth expectations were cut from 13 to 21% down to 8 to 14%. And profit forecasts dropped from 16 to 24% to 10 to 16%. But now the latest figures are in with their latest quarterly earnings report. Sales of their new drug, Wegovy, actually rose by 67% to 19.5 billion euros, which may sound like a lot, but it's actually less than people expected. And similarly, profits increased by 18%. But again, that was not enough for investors who had expected even more. But there are also some other big reasons for continued skepticism. On one hand, we have a growing competition because there's a growing number of copycat weight loss injections, especially from its main competitor, Eli Lilly, which actually now leads in US prescriptions. On the other hand, there's a lot of political pressure because Trump's tariff policies are creating a lot of uncertainty. Although Novo Nordisk acquired 3 production sites in the US through its takeover of Catalent about 6 months ago, its headquarters and main production facilities remain in Denmark. So if the proposed 15% tariffs are implemented on EU wares, then the company could suffer, and it may even fall even further behind Eli Lilly due to raised prices. The company is acknowledging this and sees an urgent need for restructuring, which is why it has replaced its former CEO and appointed Messier Mike Dusar as their new CEO. And going forward, the company plans to focus on cost reduction and expanded research. But now that we know why the price has fallen up to this point, let's take a look at the chart and ponder as to where price might be headed in the future. So here we see the price development of Novo Nordisk over the last couple of years, or rather decades. And we see the price has trended upwards in a pretty clearly defined price channel. And now if we look at the recent price action, then we see that for about the past year, Novo Nordisk has actually been in a decline, especially here culminating in this large drop that I've already talked about. But now the thing is, we actually currently find ourselves at the bottom of this price channel. So will we actually decline further and leave this price channel? Or is this actually a point where price finds support again and trends upwards again? Well, there are 2 main scenarios here, because although we do find ourselves at the bottom of the price channel here, we do have to admit that price came down with a lot of momentum, which may lead to it actually being able to break out of this price channel and trend further downwards. So in the more bearish scenario, we could actually see the price will break this price channel, maybe even find some resistance here, coming back up to it, and then trend further down. In this case, we'll most likely see a decline of 200 Danish crowns. Now, on the other hand, in the more bullish scenario, we could see that we get a bit of a counter reaction here after this large down spike. And then we should see the price consolidates a bit with a period of investors not really being sure what to do with the stock after this big decline. And then we will probably find some support here again as we hit the trend line again and trend up from there. This will most likely coincide with the next couple of earnings reports. And if, for example, the earnings reports of the last quarter of this year turn out to be really good or going forward, that should be the most likely point where we'll see this trend emerge again. So if you're approaching this as an investor or a potential investor, what should you do here? You can obviously always check out the description below and find the link to our Discord. There, we offer the analysis on over 180 assets, ranging from stocks over cryptocurrencies to precious metals. If you're interested in that, check that out. And in our Discord, you can ask us questions and stay up to date on your investment in an asset like, for example, Novo Nordisk. But how you should approach investing into something like this is that either if you just want to be in and take the more risky approach, you can always just enter, and then should price actually escape the price channel here and it's looking like it will most likely continue to trend down, then you can just exit your position. Or if you want to be more certain that the trend is actually bullish, then you can wait for this recovery that should be coming here to end, then wait out this consolidation and wait for the new trend to emerge and enter as this new trend surpasses the previous high, at which point it will be very likely that this upwards trend will actually play out. But overall, if we look at Novo Nordisk, right now sitting at a PE ratio of about 14, which is far less than most stocks in the S&P 500, then it doesn't seem like that bad of an investment, even if growth numbers may not be as extreme as they used to be in the past. Because the company is still doing fine, it is still growing, and there's really fundamentally nothing wrong with it, at least at the moment. So it doesn't seem all that likely the price will come crashing down into nothing. I hope you found this video helpful. And with that, I wish you a good week. And until next time, here at Bloomberg Capital.